Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Kuat Transfer V2 here in the back of our 2021 Volkswagen Tiguan. Now this can be a very nice way of getting your bikes to your destination. Right out of the gate, this Transfer is going to have this very unique U-frame design that's going to go ahead and really allow you to start utilizing this carrier in a lot of different ways. The big one, of course, is just going to be mounting and dismounting your bike. So you guys can see I can walk right up to actually where my bike is and get right next to it. That's going to be excellent to get that center of mass underneath yourself, get situated, and go ahead and properly put it on there with no trouble. Now personally, you really start taking full advantage of this unique design the heavier the bikes you can put on here. So today we are working on the 1.25 inch version. That's going to limit you to about 40 pounds per bike, which is still a pretty decent size, you know, for where your bikes get up on there. But if you really want to start taking advantage of the Transfer, I highly recommend trying to get the 2-inch version. Of course, that will require you to have a 2-inch hitch, of course, but the full 2-inch version without the adapter that you can actually put on this guy, the full 2-inch is going to get you to that 60 pounds per bike capacity. And personally, I just think you're really kind of missing out if you can't fully utilize the max capacity that the Transfer can go to. Now the 1.25 version though, and the 2-inch converter kit on it is still going to allow you to go ahead and of course use your 1.25 hitch and those 2-inch hitches. So you have a little versatility there, which is great. But again, you are stuck to that 40 pounds capacity limit, which in my opinion kind of defeats the big point of what the Transfer is going for. But that aside, you're still getting a great little rack here today, even if you are on that 40-pound capacity limit. That's still going to keep you plenty of space or put you right in line for your standard bikes and even into your mountain bike ranges. Going to give you no trouble at all there. Talking about the carrier itself though, you do have this oscillating back hold here today, allowing yourself to get a different range for your bikes to actually sit on there. So if you have a longer bike, you can go ahead, position that more to the outside, and a shorter bike, of course, going towards the middle more for yourself. Now the strips on here, nothing too crazy. They don't even have a matting or anything. They're just a little rubber holder here, and all you got to do is simply slot that down. You got to press that lever to get them up, and that'll go ahead and secure your wheel there for yourself. Now on the side here, you will see a little locking core, which is great, and you will have an included cable lock. You can go ahead and run that through both of your bikes if you need to, right into the side of your Transfer. And one thing that's nice about it, it's right here on the end. Some of those carriers out there you might start seeing are going to be on that first set of pegs or the second set, and sometimes it can be kind of a pain to get to. So I do like how it's right there on the side, very easy to access and get our cable lock undone. Now we do have a front tire hold system here today. So as you guys can see, all we simply do, bring this down, clamp it right on our wheel like that, and that's going to keep it from popping up unless of course you press in on that button which allows you to disengage it. So it makes it really easy to go ahead, get your bike up on here and secure it in no time. You guys can see we just have it secured right here today on that front, making sure that we do have a nice stable hold on our bike. And one thing I really like about them, very, very easy to use, of course. And you can also kind of slot them in here underneath here if you were to store it like so. And that can be a nice way of keeping it from popping up if you guys are looking a way of keeping there. I will say for the Kuats, it has some of the least resistance. And the only reason I suggest storing it behind that cradle is because later we are going to be folding this guy up. Now it has a pretty decent resistance, but just as you guys can see, not nearly as much if you're kind of comparing this to like the Kuat Indy or the Sherpa, which in my opinion does a little better of a job of holding on there. Now the front tire hole here as well, the cradle very, very wide for ourselves. We're going to have no trouble fitting most of the bikes we need in here. And one thing I do like about the Transfer, you're not limited. The only thing that's really limiting you on the size of tire you can throw in here is going to be straps. And of course, straps can always be exchanged here at etrailer.com. However, you are just kind of stuck right here at this max position, which is nothing too crazy. So it's not going to be primarily for your fat tire bikes. Still looking at most of your standard bikes to actually hold on to your bike for yourself here today. Well, it's not going to take me too much time to get the bike off, but before I do so, one awesome thing about the Transfer is we can actually utilize it while our bike is still on there to still access our cargo. So let me go ahead and bring my arm up here today. That's going to go ahead and let me get closer to this little lever right here at the bottom. So imagine there's still a bike kind of in my way here. I can still sneak my foot underneath there, pop that lever, and then simply come out to the side and open up my hatch here today. As we get closer, you can see our handlebars are just a little bit close there, nothing too crazy. So if you have extremely large handlebars, it might be something to look out for. I think we're going to be doing pretty okay for ourselves though. Pretty good spacing there, even with our longer handlebars here today on our bike. But now that's going to go ahead. Let me get those coolers, those bike helmets, anything I might need from the inside. Becomes a nice little spot too to go ahead and sit down, change your shoes, do any necessary things you need to do before your ride or during, which is great. And one thing that's nice about it, right, we're leaving the bike on our carrier as we do that. So we can still access this at gas stations or anything of the same like. Now to walk it up is really simple. I just simply support it, walk it into position. It's going to lock right there. No pins or clips, nothing I have to worry about. It becomes really easy just to walk it up. It's going to go ahead and stay right in that position. Well, that's going to go ahead and let me take off this bike really quick. To do so, I'm just going to start with this back strip here on our back wheel. Simply by pressing in on that lever, can allow our strip to unratchet out. And that does bring us to our last hold on our bike. Now, one thing I really like about this being a tire hold as well, guys, we actually can fit a carbon frame bike up on here. Since we have no frame contact, we're going to have no trouble getting our carbon frames up on here. And if you do have any other issues with like irregularities in your frame, like women's bikes, step-through bikes, that's not going to be an issue for us. As long as we have that one good front wheel, we'll be able to secure our bike to ourselves today. But let's make sure we hold on to our bike here. We don't want that tilting into our bike, our vehicle or ourselves and causing any damage. And then to simply take it out, I just press in on this button here at the bottom. It's going to go ahead and let me bring my arm up, out to the side, off there, and I can simply grab my bike and walk away, and we're already ready to ride. So mounting it, again, just as easy. You can keep it up, walk it right in position, and especially if you have those heavier bikes, it's going to be nice because you actually get underneath it. Even some of those premium carriers, especially if you start looking at 4x rack carriers, you really kind of have to reach or you're struggling to get across it. Nice that we don't have that issue today. We can just simply walk up and we're ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and bring my arms here really quick just to make it look just a little better for ourselves. And again, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my arms there, have that cradle hold it for ourselves just for a little bit here today. Now with any hitch mount accessory, you definitely are going to be adding a little bit of length to your vehicle today. Now the Tiguan, not the longest vehicle, but not the shortest vehicle out there either. So let's go ahead and see exactly what we're working with here today. From the back of our bumper here now to the very end of our carrier is going to be putting us right at 34 inches for ourselves, guys. So definitely a little bit of space to consider, but we do have a way of quickly shortening that down. Before I do so, though, we do want to go ahead and check our clearance in this position. So our worry is going to be as those front wheels go up, the back will go down, and so will your hitch-mounted accessories. So if you find yourself approaching a steep incline, it can be slightly an issue. We don't want this making contact with the ground, damaging our carrier and our bike. And it looks like to the very end of our arm here, that rolling position is going to be at 15 1/4 inches there, guys. Actually, maybe a little bit closer to half, so about 15 1/2 inches there. So we have a pretty decent rise in our shank as well, getting us a little bit above that. You can see it has a slight little grade going up as well. Personally, I don't think we're going to have too many issues in this position. Now, it is somewhat in that medium kind of a worry zone, so I'd just be a little conscious of it if you do find yourself approaching a very steep terrain, or maybe doing a little off-roading in your Volkswagen here, which I doubt many of us are going to do, but definitely something just to be conscious of. But I think we're going to be sitting pretty, especially if we're just doing our normal road driving. But bringing us back to that position, we were about 34 inches or so we can still bring that in. I'm going to go ahead and just use my arm here today just to go ahead and snake through and pop open that lever. And to do that, I just simply walk it right up after I pushed it in. It's going to go ahead and secure itself right here. I am a very big fan of Kuat. They seem to do a great job with this locking mechanism. You guys can see not too much movement in this position, so we're not going to be hearing it. We're not going to be feeling it as we drive, which is excellent. So that's going to go ahead and shave down a lot of that space for ourselves. Let's see exactly what we're working with now. From the rear of our vehicle to the very end, looks like that's going to be putting us right at our lever system, and that's going to put us at 12 1/4 of an inch. So already more than half of that space being shaved down. You guys can really see where the transfer gets that long arms going, really starts taking a full advantage of getting those two bikes on there. Definitely adds a little space, but now hopefully we've cut that down. We can pull this guy in the garage, or at least give ourselves a little bit more maneuverability when we need to park it. Moving our way to the inside here, though, you guys can see we are working today on our 1 1/4 shank here. Now, normally this also does come with a 2-inch sleeve converter. That's going to go ahead and allow you to utilize your 2-inch hitches. Of course, today we are on our 1 1/4 hitch, and we just have a simple little alignment pin and retaining clip, making sure that it is staying exactly where we want it. Now, where all of our anti-rattle device or measures are coming from is going to be our anti-rattle device here right at the bottom. Now, this is going to be a specialized tool, so you're going to have two uses of this. One, of course, is that anti-rattle measure. It's going to be tightening a cam on the inside of our shank to our hitch. Therefore, we can go ahead and have a nice secure fit, taking all that shake and all that play out. And then secondly, it is also going to be your security measure, as you actually are going to need the tool-specific tool to actually get this off. So it is kind of like a hex bolt, but it does have an indent in the middle, preventing anybody from with an Allen wrench just walking right up and taking off your hitch. Therefore, it's going to be nice and secure for yourself. And again, I think that's what's really nice about the Transfer. You're getting a lot of great features all in this nice, lightweight, small package. It becomes really easy to go ahead and mount your bikes up on it. Now, again, I think the Transfer is a great little pickup, especially, like I said, if you're wanting a little bit of help of getting your bikes up on here. And that's why I say, if you can, try to find yourself that 2-inch version. It's going to be very more helpful for yourself. You're going to get 20 more pounds capacity per bike, and honestly, all you're going to need is a slightly bigger hitch, which I highly recommend if you guys can do it. Although the Transfer, still, guys, great little option for yourself. Like that it's lightweight, very, very easy to use. Well, guys, I think that about does it for our look at the Kuat Transfer V2 here on the back of our 2021 Volkswagen Tiguan. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.